In a castle, in a city, there once lived a king. His name was Ceville, and he was a mean and nasty man. He oppressed and tyrannized the poor citizens of Farianis. And so it could have gone for many a year. But one day...
Ah, another day in my wonderful realm. And what have we here? A dispute requiring my judgment. Obviously, my pitiful subjects are completely lost without me. Let's see. The big bad wolf is suing the three little pigs for damages after sustaining a head wound from a falling roof tile while he was blowing down their house. On the other hand, the three little pigs are suing the big bad wolf for damages to their house. I should punish them all. They are all going to pay for making me listen to their trivial bellyaching. I think a few years in the mines would be appropriate here. How lovely! I don't think I've ever spoken a fairer judgment. Now I can turn to other government business. Oh. Here's another letter. A letter from my mine manager. It seems he urgently needs fresh workers. I assume I've just found him enough volunteers to suit his needs. Now, nothing can ruin my day. Who dares disturb me while I'm conducting important government business?
To arms! Rebels are attacking the palace!
Treacherous scum! What are you doing just standing there? Get out there and drive off that rabble!
Well, you see...
Well, out with it!
Well, it's like this.
Oh, be quiet, you idiot! We've decided that you don't pay us enough to go out and fight those rebels. We've decided to join them instead.
What? You traitorous worms want to stab me in the back?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. We'll just keep you here until reinforcements arrive from the rebels.
Maybe I should have hired some decent personnel after all.
Rebels, come quick! We've captured Ceville!
Somehow I have to get down to the castle cellar. Maybe then I can escape through the hidden magic portal. I think government business is going to have to wait a bit. I think government business... Dr. Ignatius Faustus Ceville I. His crimes have been a shining example for every Ceville since.
A disgusting tyrant, just like all the others.
Thank you for the compliment. A picture of my cousin, Brunhilda.
That's supposed to be a woman? She has more hair on her face than I have on my entire body.
Admittedly, facial hair on women is a matter of taste. Well, no, not really, no. Ah, how I'd love to fill my pockets with gold, but I fear it would hinder my escape just a tad.
Just leave it there. We'll take care of it.
Ah, that kind of nastiness really reminds me of someone. My handy multifunction scepter. It can be used as a scepter, a walking stick, a club, and much, much more.
You can't escape!
A little out of my reach.
What now? Gonna grow some wings?
Wait a minute. If he grows a set of wings, he could escape, right?
Oh, be quiet, you idiot.
Blessed are the weak of mind. Ah, my private fortune, lovingly skimmed from the treasury. It's almost equal to that of my rival, Gunnar.
I still think he's got...
Did I mention that the statue is carved from solid stone? Tipping it over is not an option.
You want to use the statue to knock a hole in the wall? What a laugh! That will never work! You couldn't even eat that much spinach!
Or fall into a vat of magic potion. Starting to get pretty boring.
Be quiet! We're gonna wait right here for reinforcements.
Every old castle comes with that kind of thing. These decorative banners are all the rage. At least that's what the designer said.
Shouldn't we grab Ceville instead? Otherwise he could escape.
You idiot! We're blocking the door. How's he gonna get away? No, we'll just wait for reinforcements.
My great-grandfather's famous suit of battle armor. They say he never took it off. One day he went for a swim and,
Give up!
Hey, I think the king wants to talk to us.
He's not the king anymore, you idiot! We've rebelled!
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, what do you want?
whatever convinced you fools to go over to the enemy?
It didn't take long once we saw that horde out there.
Be quiet, dolt. We couldn't fight against this just cause any longer.
Can't we solve this peacefully?
No.
Can't we just agree that you work for me again?
No.
Would a raise in pay change your mind?
No.
Can we agree that you're clever?
No.
Priceless. Simply priceless. Clunk, why do you let this little panty waste insult you all the time?
Exactly. Smiley, stop insulting me all the time.
Be quiet, dolt.
Okay.
Cowardly dogs. You low-down, sneaking, malicious collaborators aren't worth my time.
Was that an insult?
Oh, be quiet, you idiot. You may not pass.
Don't flee, fool.
Those two aren't that creative, are they? My beloved throne. A very suitable seat indeed, if I do say so myself. A good plan. The only problem is that I needed 5 men just to get the stairs where they are now.
Ha! What a pitiful attempt at escape. Just accept your fate, why don't you?
An appropriate barrier to keep this rabble, these subjects, away from me.
We could always tie him up with that rope.
Be quiet, you idiot. I can't.
I don't get it. Why can't we do that?
Because the scene is called The Fugitive, and not Caught in the First 5 Minutes.
Oh, the two metal balls on the ends prevent me from taking the rope.
I still think he's going to escape.
The famous Ceville coat of arms.
That's going to be all that remains of this tyrant.
The axe is hanging just a bit too high. I'll have to find something to help me reach it.
Starting to get pretty boring.
Outstanding. This could be useful in my escape. A rather sharp axe.
Should...
Excellent. I knocked off that stupid tie-off.
Ha! You think you could overpower us with that rope?
Excellent. Now the rope is mine. An incredibly normal rope. I would say we are definitely looking at a classic escape tool here. Why? It won't be easy to make the rope past there. Some kind of grapnel would be perfect, though. Outstanding! I built myself, let's see, a boarding axe.
Oi! I think Ceville is trying to escape.
Hey! Stop that! That's better.
My stomach is starting to growl something terrible. Why don't we take a break? Please.
No, we have to wait for reinforcements.
I better leave the rope alone as long as these two brain-dead jerks are watching me. Maybe I can get rid of them somehow.
I still think he's going to escape.
Be quiet, you idiot. Let me do the thinking here. What else is there?
Oh, did you two useless dolts hear that thunder-like sound too?
That wasn't thunder. That was Mr. Eat Everything in sight here.
Hey, I'm just big boned, so I need the occasional little snack to tide me over.
Your little snack would feed a large family for an entire winter.
Oh,
Oh, did you two useless dolts hear that thunder-like sound too?
That wasn't thunder. That was Mr. Eat.
hey, I'm just big boned, so I need the occasional little snack.
I can understand that, with lunchtime coming up too. I am certain that the cook is preparing a truly opulent meal even as we speak.
Yum.
Oh, yes, I can almost smell all those delicacies from here. Baked ham, chicken.
I think we should take a break right now.
What? No, that's completely out of the question. We have to make sure Ceville doesn't escape.
But I'm hungry.
Oh, come on now, I'm not going to run away. How? The castle is surrounded by rebels.
Exactly. Now let's get something to eat.
Oh, all right then. Let's go get a quick bite to eat. But you are going to be so sorry if the other rebels take Ceville away from us.
Excellent. Excellent! Those two idiots were easier to get out of the way than I thought, although it seems they have locked the door from outside. Oh, those two dolts have barricaded the door from outside. I'll have to find another way out.
Bonjour, your reign. I've prepared a most delicious meal for you, my king. Et voilà, enjoy your meal.
Great! Something to eat. I just hope no one is considering this a last meal. You ought to see my kitchen chef hasn't heard of the rebellion closeted up in that kitchen. And once again, my thoroughly egotistical kitchen chef has outdone himself. Burgers à la raton. Incredibly delicious. Yum, not bad. I could almost stand a bit more of that. A choice mug of beer. A mug of good beer. I'll toast my successful escape with that later. An appropriate means of letting the cook know that I am hungry.
Et voilà! Enjoy your meal.
Makes an absolutely delicious impression. Yum, not bad. I could almost stand a bit more of that. They delivered another 10 chairs with this princely table. Ha! As if I really want company at dinner. The floor has certainly seen better days, but the cost of repairs is absolutely ridiculous these days. Wait a minute. I could put a couple of offenders to work fixing that. What a brilliant idea. But first I have to concentrate on making my escape. I'll attend to the cheap repairs project later. The culinary remains of my last repast. The more I think about it, the less sure I am that firing the cleaning staff and putting them in prison was such a good idea. Then again, it was worth it just for the fun. I've kept the fire going here ever since I started hearing stories of white-bearded men dressed in red who keep breaking into houses through the chimney. The key to open the grandfather clock. A little out of my reach, however. Those two idiot guards are taking a break out there. Those two dogs will never let me by without a disguise. Unfortunately, that's the only way down to the cellars. The door is locked. Another item which is out of my... Ouch! That fire's pretty hot. The key is now mine, but what a cost! All those delicious, specially selected spirits simply evaporated! A tragedy. Open sesame! That was the craziest thing I've ever done. I think I just added a fear of heights to my list of phobias. Marvelous! What a splendid collection of different beers I have put together. I wish I had time for another wee drop, but I should really concentrate on escaping first. The trophies of my triumphal culinary expeditions.
Sacre bleu! You may be the king, but this kitchen, she is mine. If you want something, just ring for it.
An appropriate means of letting the...
Oui, oui. Here is another portion. Please, have a seat at the table. Et voilà! Enjoy your meal.
makes an absolutely delicious impression. Those two idiot guards are taking a break out there. And of course the portal is in the cellar, and the only way there goes past those two. Sometimes there really isn't any justice in the world today. My socks. I hung them over the fire to dry. And, yeah. I don't think so. That pendulum is in my way. Too bad about this lovely piece. Oh well, at least there's more room in the clock now. An excellent place to hide.
But there is still some food on the table. I am happy to serve seconds when the plate is empty, oui?
Yum, not bad. I could almost stand a bit more of that.
Hello? Where is the little king? Ah, well, I put a fresh portion on the table for him.
A dark, somewhat slippery spot on the floor. Obviously, the cook has spent a lot of time on that spot. You look like dinner. Beggars can't be choosers. Things and stuff the chef needs to prepare those delicious meals for me. A typical broom, used for lowly chores. Ah, I can already hear the cook coming closer.
Mon Dieu! You are back again! I have told you, there is nothing here for you in the kitchen! No!
No. Yum.
Hello? Where is the little king? Ah, well, I put a fresh portion on the table for him.
Now that's a bitter cold coming out of there. That might be an ideal place to lock someone up in. A dark, somewhat slippery spot on the floor. Cold-pressed olive oil from Italianis for salads. A slippery affair. I can already hear the cook coming closer.
Zutelo! How many times have I said the kitchen is mine? Go! Go! Away with you! Ow!
Wonderful. One less problem. Although I will miss his cooking. My chef's cooking diploma. 5 frog legs. Now there's a man who knows his way around a kitchen.
It is very cold in here.
Not particularly fashionable, but I think it should suffice as a disguise as far as those intellectual underachievers are concerned. Yeah, good enough for a side dish, maybe. And that's considered a kitchen tool. It looks like it would be more appropriate for my torture chamber. An appropriate tool for the cook to use when performing the rather unavoidable amputations on those frogs. Makes a very delicate impression. Which foul villain tipped over these apples? I mean, those are desperately needed for my beloved roast pig. Odds are that contains ingredients.
Please, let me out of here.
Beggars can't be choosers.
It is very cold in here. I catch me.
Good old-fashioned firewood. I should see about having another couple of forests cut down before too long. Not particularly.
Look! Here comes the kitchen chef. I thought the kitchen chef was bigger than that.
Be quiet, you idiot! He's wearing the chef's hat, so he's the chef!
The clothing reminds me more of Ceville. Now he even looks exactly like Ceville.
Hey, that is Ceville! Get him!
Whoa! Ow! Ow! Those two useless twits have locked the door again. This is getting to be a habit. But at least I managed to get my beloved torture chamber. Ah, the sweet, sweet memories. But this is neither the time nor the place for nostalgia. All I have to do is find that secret passage and I can leave these rebels behind me. That's Benjamin. He came with the torture chamber. Alice was chained there a little while ago. Ah, Wonderland. Bah. He really talked himself out. I've had enough of axes for today. I've had enough. Unfortunately, there is no gasoline in the area. Ah, wonderful. This is where the mechanism for the secret passage is hidden. I'd forgotten. Now, I just have to add a lever here to let me operate the mechanism. I've had enough. My scepter fits perfectly, but the machinery is too rusty for me to be able to push the lever down. No time to rest. Here it says, you don't have to be a sadist to work here, but it helps. That must be the remains of my last detailed interrogation. No time to rest. Although, as an evil genius, I would be more than happy to use this box to achieve world domination. But there is no way you would ever catch me sitting in front of one. Too uncomfortable for me. I don't have any food for Snapper with me. Another secret passage built by my ancestor Stradivarius Ceville. Unfortunately, I never really looked into just how it is opened. Unfortunately, I don't have any money with me at the moment. Excellent. The magic portal is hidden behind this door. Until I've had a chance to feed Snapper, it would be unwise to reach into his pool. Too uncomfortable. Those two idiots locked the door. No. That's Benjamin. That's just no good. He really talked himself out. fantastic. I've oiled the machinery thoroughly. Ah, Basilius, my loyal servant. Despicable rebels have laid siege to my castle. I know. You see, it was I who encouraged that good-natured mob to rise against you. What? You treacherous worm. This is all you're doing? Why? All these years you've treated me like dirt, but that's all over now. Soon, those good-natured fools out there will set the good-hearted yet simple-minded Gwendolyn on the throne. But don't worry, I already have a plan which will ensure that she never takes the throne. So, I, Basilius, will take up the scepter and begin my evil reign. Perhaps I shall summon a couple of demons to roam the land in my name. Sometimes I wonder why the bad guys always feel the need to explain their evil plans. You crackpot! Just wait. I shall escape and my revenge will be horrible indeed.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes!
Bah! My laughter is much more evil than yours, and your days are numbered. Goodbye, Ceville!
I'm starting to run out of escape routes. Everywhere nothing but traitors.
No one in sight. Obviously, the villains are hiding in fear. Not surprising, really. After all, I am extremely powerful.
Hey, you! Who are you and how did you get into my castle?
Ah, Ceville, you evil tyrant. At long last I finally meet my nemesis. Tremble, for I am Ambrosius, paladin and loyal servant of all that is good and right. You wonder how I got in here? Well then, I shall tell you. O good and brave citizens of Ferianus, today is our day. I, the heroic paladin Ambrosius, your beloved leader, did not hesitate to take up arms against that despicable tyrant, Ceville. It was my strategical genius that allowed wave after wave of you to dash yourselves against the castle walls.
You idiot!
We will not rest until that tyrant has been captured. Yet before the final battle begins, I would like to address to you a few words of inspiration.
Oh, please, not more of that drivel.
Evil cannot hide from us. Oh yes, we will beard the monster in his own castle and take him prisoner. Together with my outstanding swordsmanship, my gallant and cat-like movements will leave him no choice but to surrender to me. I mean, us. Listen, I'll just jump on this lovely well here, and then I shall tell you something, oh, you rebels. I dream of a beautiful and gentle world. A world in which young girls can skip through dark forests without fear of being attacked by big bad wolves.
If he'd only put his money where his mouth is.
By the way, did I already mention that I am Ambrosius? That's right, the Ambrosius. I've won a great number of prizes for my body. And, of course, my hair.
One thing I know, no one has forgotten the last 20 times he mentioned it, at any rate.
Earplugs would be so nice.
As long as he has pity on us and doesn't tell us about any more of his adventures.
Another thing I wanted to say. Did I already mention that I am a paladin? I would never boast, but we paladins are known to be the proudest and noblest knights in all the world. If anyone would like an autograph, now would be a good time.
If he doesn't shut up soon, I'm going to kick his proud and noble behind.
Ceville, your days as tyrant have come to an end! Listen, I'll just jump on this lovely well here, and then I shall tell you something, oh, you rebels! I dream of a beautiful and...
If he'd only put his money where his...
Ceville, your days as tyrant have come to an end! Oh no! Stop! No! Comrades, your leader could use a bit of help here!
Okay, sure. You just wait down there, we'll help you. Real soon.
There's debris all over the place. The well is obviously in bad need of repair. This head reminds me of something. A painting, perhaps. I think it was called The Screech or something like that. Or maybe it just reminds me of my paladin trainer. He usually made the same face whenever he saw me. That sounded rather strange. Here on the wall, it says C-E-F-E. Was that supposed to be Ceville? There's... Oh, look! Glowing mushrooms. Delicious-looking glowing mushrooms. Maybe I could try just one. On second thought, my brilliant mind tells me I should wait until after I've caught Ceville. Excellent! guaranteed no problem with my incredible strength. But I want to sneak in there. Exactly. Therefore, that is not a practical solution. My splendid sword of demon slaying. Incredibly helpful, if I were ever to run into a demon. That sounded rather strange. This gargoyle doesn't have a tongue like the others do. My razor-sharp mind is sure to process this information in a fitting manner. Any time now. Even my outstanding technical skills won't allow me to combine these things. A gargoyle with a stone tongue. I wonder what that's supposed to mean. There's a bit of debris on the floor here. Obviously, from that gargoyle up there. My razor-sharp mind... Comrades, your leader could use a bit of help here.
Okay, sure. You just wait down there. We'll help you real soon.
Oh, look. Glowing mushrooms. Delicious-looking... On second thought, my brilliant mind tells me I should wait until after I've... I may stop at nothing, but I still think I'll just leave that the way it is. Spiders! Good thing I can't actually see any. Naturally, a hero of my stature isn't afraid of those repulsive, eight-legged, nauseating creatures. It's harder to break off than I thought. Even my superhuman strength couldn't break it off. But the use of force, as usual, is definitely the right answer. Ah, I finally have the chance to use my beloved sword. This head or maybe it just reminds... A stalactite. A perfect fit. Every now and then, my mind even manages to surprise me with its incredible brilliance.
That's how I ended up here.
Yes, an interesting story. Now get out of my castle. Otherwise, you'll get a chance to become intimately acquainted with Mr. Scepter here.
You really want to face my blade? Well then, draw your sword and taste mine! Would you like to hear about how I defeated 3 men at the same time?
I beg your pardon?
And so the mighty paladin Ambrosius defeated the tyrant Ceville. He threw the evil king into prison. There he was supposed to stay for the rest of his life as punishment for the things he had done. And so it seemed as if Ceville's revenge on his treacherous advisor Basilius was slipping farther and farther away. At least, that's the way it looked.
It's lovely weather, and I've nothing important to do, so it's time to relax and enjoy myself. What a lovely day!
What a rotten day.
Oh no, who's got their grumpy face on today? I'd better have a look.
In whose heart?
Locked away in a damp, dark cell. And to top it all off, they even took my scepter. Right now, I could really use someone to take this all out on.
I'm up here! Hello?
Looks like dinner might be a bit scampy today.
Hey you, what are you doing in there? Are you one of those bad people?
What nerve, child! I'm Ceville, legitimate ruler of Ferianis, and your king!
I am not a child. My name is Lily, and if you're such a great king, then why are you locked up? Tax evasion?
Those nauseating do-gooders have allied themselves against me and thrown me into this dark cell. They say I tyrannized them. Ha! Of course I tyrannized them. The worst of it is that crawling worm Basilius has hatched a dark and evil plan. He wants to subject my kingdom to an abhorrent demonic tyranny far worse than anything ever seen.
That's terrible. Something has to be done.
Would I love to get my hands on that rat, but A, I'm just a little confined at the moment, and B, nobody out there believes me.
But I believe you. Basilius has always given me an icky feeling. I will help you.
You? A little kid? What do you think you can... Oh, well, it can't hurt. Right then, listen to me. You need to get me out of this cell. To do this, you will need the key hanging on the wall over there. Presumably that puffed-up paladin will try to stop you.
Hey, you! No one is allowed to talk to the prisoners. Get out of here! Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the handsomest paladin of all?
my slingshot! Unfortunately, I don't have any ammunition.
Hey, you!
Ah, Ceville. Have you recovered from our brilliant fight? The one in which I laid you low with my superior sword skills?
What are you talking about, you jerk? I hit you on the head and you nearly crushed me under your metal suit!
Well, I can understand your not wanting to admit to your defeat at my hands. It is no disgrace to lose a fight when faced with an opponent as powerful as I.
Hand me my scepter and I'll show you what I think of your gossip!
You still haven't had enough? Unfortunately, I cannot grant your request, as your scepter lies in the council chambers as an eternal memorial to warn us against suppression. Unfortunately, I must now turn to other things, as I feel a slight tension in my skin I should do something about.
That armor is definitely cutting off the flow of blood to his brain. A dirty old man I have to share the cell with. Disgusting!
Hey, you! Could you scratch my nose? Unfortunately, I can't reach myself because, well, I have this little problem. But hey, you can see that for yourself.
Maybe later. Say, are you part of one of those mind-numbing shows? Something like Ferianis Prison Idol?
No!
Re-socialize yourself. If you wash and shave, you'll be free within 3 weeks.
I'd love to, but they just left me hanging here because I'm allegedly a danger to society. But once I'm free, I'll wreak terrible vengeance upon you. Then we'll see who laughs last.
Looks to me as if there were very good reasons to leave that crazy old man hanging there to rot. Excellent. A defenseless captive unable to escape my pointedly sarcastic comments.
You wouldn't make fun of a poor, helpless old man, would you?
Let me think about it for a second. Yes. I suppose you're the source of this stench.
All they give me to eat here are beans.
Looking at the vermin in your hair, I doubt that you can still speak of lice. Some of them are already as big as mice.
I call the big one Binky.
I have wasted enough of my precious time on you. Fascinating.
Did I say my life couldn't get any worse? I changed my mind.
I'm not crazy. You can catch diseases there they don't even have names for. A perfectly normal bucket. Under other circumstances, I would probably take it with me, but I think it's been used for sanitary purposes. A small, ordinary stone. All sorts of interesting instruments.
I I'm feeling really lightheaded here.
I saved the cost of a prison chef and let the prisoners cook their own food. Of course, there are still problems with those who are chained up, but it saves a lot of money.
Help!
A small rodent. Obviously, someone here keeps a small rodent as a pet.
My lice are almost falling out of my hair.
The little beast is hiding in this hole.
Help me back up!
Yes, Bobo, you are so right. I should torch everything here.
It's the end of the world!
Why? Home, sweet home. Whoever hung something nasty like that here? Oh, yeah, right. That was me. Oh, yes. Oh. A modest view of freedom lost. Lily has to come to the window before I can give her anything.
The prison cell window. I could pass Ceville things through here.
Halt! No one is allowed to speak to the prisoner. Stay away from those boxes.
Somehow I'm going to have to distract him if I want to get to that window.
Oh, hello. What can I do for you, little one?
Who are you?
You don't recognize me? I am the unique, the inimitable Ambrosius, noble paladin by trade. I'm known for my graceful swordplay and ravishing good looks. It goes without saying that you've already heard of me.
Oh, okay. Wow. Your hair really is very pretty. It really shines.
Thank you. Of course, it does require a substantial amount of care. But what kind of hero would I, Ambrosius, be if my hair did not look just right? Like you say, I wouldn't be the mighty Ambrosius I am today. Women would kill to have hair even close to as beautiful as mine, and it is so easy. I just use an exotic mixture of donkey milk and bits of mango, which I then rub into my hair for 1.5 hours every day before gently rinsing out.
Uh-huh.
This magnificent hair has already won numerous prizes. Say, what were we talking about again?
Well, nothing important. Wow. Your armor sparkles and shines.
Of course. I don't spend several hours a day polishing it to a mirror finish for nothing. My mentor once taught me that waxing and polishing are great combat training.
I don't get it. How is that supposed to be great training?
Unfortunately, I can't tell you, because it's a secret technique only passed on from master to student. But I still remember my teacher's sing-song, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off.
Shouldn't you wear a helmet with your armor?
No. Helmets are for cowards. Moreover, one of those things could affect my incredible hearing and my eagle eyes.
Kind of sounds like an excuse to me.
What? How dare you? Have you no respect for the living legend standing before you? Well, I admit that my incredibly gorgeous hair also plays a tiny role in this decision. That would do irreparable damage to the lacy fineness of my hair. No, I simply cannot allow that to happen.
It would probably be best if I didn't say anything to that. Actually, I can't say I've ever heard of you.
What? That is absurd. even the beauty of my hair is worshipped by women and feared by my enemies. The youth of today. Well, I think you're simply too young to be, interested in knights.
Nice sword.
Thank you very much. My legendary +3 Sword of Demon Slaying has always been of good service to me. Okay, so I haven't had many demons as enemies, but who knows what the future may hold in store.
Tell me about one of your adventures.
Really? I mean, certainly. But unfortunately, my throat is very dry. I've been standing here for several hours without a thing to drink. Once I've had a sip, I'll be more than ready to that is to regale you with one of my great adventures.
I'm afraid we have to be going. See you soon.
Oh? I'm accustomed to women usually being unable to leave me alone. But, okay, take care. Nothing makes me sing like Ferianus in the spring.
I think that should probably keep him busy for a while.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the handsomest paladin of all?
It looks like the paladin is thrilled with the polished shield.
Maybe I should get the ends trimmed again.
A bunch of torture implements.
Simply better. At El Choyo, it's simply better.
A traveling merchant. Ugh! What is that horrid smell? I think there are more goods in there. Little coloured bottles. I don't think I want to know what's in most of them. Exceptional goods at exceptional prices. Advertising is obviously not his strong point. Yuck! Who hung their dirty laundry here?
That is the laundry from Dr. C's laundry, which El Choyo also runs.
The wagon brake. Since it will probably remain here and not be moved, it's likely nothing more than an ornament now.
Buenos dias, little señorita. Come and look at the wonderful things El Choyo has to sell.
Who are you?
The name is El Choyo, traveling merchant and master of the bargain and the low, low price. Nowhere else in the kingdom will you find better deals than at El Choyo's.
Why do you talk with such a funny accent?
Ah, that is because El Choyo does not originally come from Ferianus. El Choyo's home is in far Spanianis. But El Choyo decided to come here to make his fortune. But enough of that. Can El Choyo perhaps interest you in his wonderful products?
What kind of goods do you sell?
El Choyo offers you the most amazing things for sale. For example, this excellent hair tonic from Dr. C.
What do you have other than hair tonic?
El Choyo is delighted that you're so interested in his goods. But are you sure you wouldn't prefer to learn something about the hair tonic?
Yes. What else do you have to offer?
El Choyo really would be much happier if you were to ask him about the hair tonic.
No, I'm not interested in hair tonic. Now, what about the other things you have on offer?
Okay. You win. El Choyo miscalculated and had to sell many of his goods to avert a disaster. In my distress, I even ran a small laundry on the side as an additional source of revenue.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me more about this hair tonic.
But of course, El Choyo would be delighted if he could foist off Senorita a little hair tonic. Dr. C's hair tonic is truly miraculous. It not only makes your hair fluffy and soft, but also increases your intelligence and builds strong muscles. And it is a real bargain too, since El Choyo only charges 20 gold coins a bottle. And if you buy 10 bottles, you only have to pay for 9 1/2. Well, how many bottles do you want to buy from El Choyo?
Unfortunately, I don't have that much gold.
Oh, that's too bad. Just come back when you have the money.
Ugh, what kind of disgusting smelly cheese is that? Do you sell that too?
What? No, that is El Choyo's delicious lunch. Absolutely not for sale.
Who is this Dr. C anyway?
Dr. C is, a very famous doctor in El Choyo's homeland. Yes.
Could it be that Dr. C stands for Choyo?
Of course not. El Choyo is saddened that you could accuse him of something like that. El Choyo has nothing to do with Dr. C. After all, there are 5 small El Choyos, and that leaves little time for science.
Is Dr. C related to Dr. T?
No.
I'm sorry, but I have important things to do at the moment.
Oh, what a pity. If you want to buy some unusual things at a bargain price, then come back and see El Choyo.
Good deed every day.
A little well by the prison wall. Hey! There's a coin in the water. A small copper coin with a hole in it.
It is not easy to be a hero such as I.
A fish head for a fountain. How imaginative.
Hair soft and silky, skin clean and milky, simply...
Maybe around the city.
Lily! Where are you?
It would probably be better to free Ceville first.
Get Dr. C's miracle tincture today! Welcome back, little senorita. Are you interested in the wonderful things El Choyo has for sale?
About that hair tonic.
Yes? Do you have enough gold now?
My grandfather used the stuff once and all his hair fell out.
El Choyo is shocked. Something like that could never happen. Your grandfather probably used a different hair tonic.
No, I'm certain. He told me that that stuff is only made from ink and dogs... Well, you know.
El Choyo is beside himself. He would never... I mean, Dr. C would never make anything like that.
That sounds pretty much like fraud to me.
Psst! Please, not so loud.
Why? Does it bother you when I pronounce words like fraud and cutthroat that loudly?
Shh. Okay, you win. Here's a sample for you.
Oh, how very decent of you.
Yes, fine. Here, take it. So have fun! Oh yes, maybe I should mention that it... well, how should I say? Maybe I exaggerated just a little when I praised that hair tonic. Actually, all it's really good for is getting rid of parasites. I often rub it into my dog's coat. Even parasites can't stand this stuff.
Uh-huh. Well, anyway, thank you. I notice you no longer speak of yourself in the third person.
El Choyo thinks it would be better if you go now.
Dr. C's hair tonic, supposed to be good against... vermin?
El Choyo's el magic hair tonic recommended by Dr. C.
The prison cell...
My hair is looking a little dull. Maybe I should have left the donkey milk in for another half hour before rinsing this morning.
The prison cell window...
Did I say...
That was fun! But now I have a handful of vermin. There has to be something nasty I can do with that. Oh, the other way around was more fun.
Chained to a wall. Hey! You! Come back! Normally, no one wants to talk to me.
Looking at the vermin in your hair, I doubt that you can still speak of lice. Some of them are already as big as mice.
I call the big one big.
I have wasted enough of my precious... hair-infesting vermin. Guarantee they could be used for all sorts of incredibly nasty tricks.
Hey! Turn me...
Fascinating.
The slingshot is now loaded. I think I shouldn't do that while the guard is standing there. What? No! That would be incredibly mean, and I'm not going to do it.
That vainglorious, narcissistic Popinjay's hairbrush.
Hands off my beloved brush! Get your hands away from my brush.
His mirror shield isn't distracting him. It's doing exactly the opposite. Now he hardly ever puts that stupid brush down anymore.
Oh well, enough posing for now. Time to stand guard again. Get your hands away from my brush.
I'm not going to be able to treat that brush without some sort of distraction.
Halt! No one is allowed. Where would the world be without Ambrosius? Unimaginable!
I think that should probably...
Mirror, mirror on the wall. I continue to amaze myself.
Clear, cold water.
Hands off! That is El Choyo's lunch. He would be very angry if you were to try to steal it. You again. Unfortunately, El Choyo has no time for you right now.
I wonder if the trader might be interested in this fish, although it doesn't look too appetizing anymore. I don't think anyone should eat this.
El Choyo has the most fantastic merchandise you can...
I'm not going to do that. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Come to El Choyo's stall, where he sells you the greatest things of all.
No.
Just come and ask El Choyo about the super duper special sale price. Extra special just today. Just for you.
Thank you very much. I was dying of thirst. You don't know how much this armor makes you sweat.
And I don't really think I want to, either.
Oh well, enough posing for now. Time to stand guard again. Everybody was sword-style fighting. Oh, you're back. Something else on your mind?
Tell me about one of your adventures.
Really? I mean, certainly. Well then, picture it. I, shining knight and champion of all that is good, once set out to defeat the 42 thieves, bards the But enough heroic deeds for today. It's time to tend to my hair. I mean, my duties. Whoops.
I think that should probably keep him busy for a while.
Wait. What's that in my hair? Lice! Oh! Help! Help!
Ah, sweet freedom. World, that is home. Now I can finally concentrate on my justly deserved revenge.
Sure. Great. So what do we do now? Do you already have a plan?
A what? Oh, a plan. Of course I have a plan. An excellent plan, as a matter of fact. First off, we should leave the city. Head for the gate.
There are 2 guards in front of the gate.
Damn. Those 2 idiots again. Better if I stay here. You go up there and find out what those 2 dimwits are doing here.
Hello?
Hello yourself.
Be quiet, dolt. Halt, little girl. No one is allowed to leave the city, for the evil tyrant Ceville has escaped from prison.
You know about that? I mean, that's terrible. But I still have to leave the city. It's urgent. Isn't there any way?
Not for a little girl.
Now, if you were a council member, the Queen, or one of her advisors...
Would you be quiet? Still, he is right. If you were a council member, we would have let you through. Seeing as you don't have any papers, I don't believe you're anything of the kind. So go away.
You don't need to see my papers.
Huh? What's that?
Nothing. I'll just be going now. Those 2 are looking for you and won't let anyone leave except council members and the Queen.
Right then, what we need here is a disguise or something like that.
Do you really think we can fool them?
Of course. I've already had the pleasure of experiencing their complete lack of intelligence. Just trust me.
Herr Choyo is the man to see for the best deals in town.